Children, let us go through the second chapter of Class 9 Moments book, and the name of the chapter is The Adventures of Toto. This story has been written by the famous writer and author Ruskin Bond. And before we go throughout the story, let me brief you up 2-3 lines about the writer Ruskin Bond. I'm sure everyone must have heard his name. He was born on 19th of May 1934, and he is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Landor in Missouri, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. So he is a great contributor to the Indian literature, especially in the field of children's story. He got even the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra for his published work in English, and he was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. So that was the briefing up of Ruskin Bond, a great writer indeed. And through this story, he brings out his characteristic sketch of the pet animal which the grandfather happens to bring, and how that pet creates nuisance inside the house. And he tries to bring out the theme of from this story, that whatever be it, whoever is the creation of God, whether it is an animal or a bird or a human being, it's very difficult to change our basic nature. Whatever nature we are born with, it's very hard to change, and it's not proper even to change that basic nature. And sometimes it's quite painful too. So we should respect every creation of God and allow them to live the way that has been prescribed by the Almighty. So that is all the chapter all about. And Toto was the name of the pet here, who was struggling to change his identity, not the identity, it can be said, his basic general characteristics, which he could not leave till the end. As the story goes, the grandfather had bought this Toto from a Tonga driver for just rupees 5. And initially, when the grandfather saw Toto tied up to a feeding trough, he found him to be very weak and very ill and ugly. And then when he brought him at home, it was hard for the grandmother even to accept the pet inside the home. But gradually, by and by, as time passed, grandmother also accepted Toto. Then one day, while grandfather was traveling, he had carried Toto along with him. See here, it can be seen in the inside his suit coat. And there also in the station, he created a huge nuisance and caused everyone to attract their attention and to circle round him. So these were the incidences which has been described in brief throughout the story. And his mischief was growing day by day, and from tolerable it was going to the level of intolerance. He could not be tamed and domesticated any further, because he was growing out in size also. It was very hard for the members of the family to keep him as a pet. Soon, his grandfather also realized that Toto was not the type of pet to be kept in the house. Grandfather already had so many pets as a zoo. He had a semi-zoo inside his house, but he was finding it very difficult for Toto to tame him and to keep him as a pet inside the house. And he found the Tonga driver finally and sold Toto back to him for rupees 3 only. So that was the journey of Toto in the house of grandfather, and the story deals all about the basic characteristics of the pet monkey and how he dealt inside the house with the members of the family.